Understanding of Vaishnava culture inspired her established an institute for spiritual culture, and which offers insightful education in Vaishnava life. She has published 5 books and conducts story-reading retreats around the world. You can have a look at the books. Mataji will explain us more about the books. So this is a great opportunity that you can take the books and read it, and it's a marathon. It's a marathon month. So this is the best time, buy a book and even gift it to others and distribute it. And we also have Holy Name Retreat coming up on 28th, which is organized by Sati Sangha Hyderabad. For those who are not aware, you can join that. It's a wonderful program, 9 p.m. to 4 to 5 p.m. So it would be a workshop, and the workshop which will really help you, improve your japa. Many of us, we have been chanting for years and still we have not got that taste, that cheap, and we still do it with a lot of offenses. So it's required that we all attend such workshops by the senior Mataji's lecturer, and I'm sure it will be very, very helpful for all of us. And today's topic is also very important. The topic of envy. Use a short abbreviation that we use on chat. Could also be there, NB, and which means no vacancy. So if you have a spark of envy in your heart, you cannot go through. There's no vacancy for all of us people. So I would really am very, very grateful and thankful that Mataji, and for all the troubles that we have created, and sorry for all the inconveniences that we could not serve properly. Thank you so much for coming and blessing us. So please, once again, we can have 3 loud Hari Bols for Mataji.
चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीचैतन्यामनुकृतं स्थापयं स्वयं रूपकरमयं स्वाहा ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचोदये विशेषशून्यवाद Panchakapajivasya Kripasadivya Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram. So first of all, thank you so much for coming together, and thank you to Mataji for managing this program. So it's my great pleasure to all of you. So as you maybe can hear, my voice is a little croaky. I'm just recovering from completely lost voice. For 2 weeks, I couldn't speak anything. So I have to be a little careful. I cannot hold it. So yes. So maybe I want to add one little thing to the introduction you just heard. That for over 20 years, I have spent quite some time every year teaching in Bangladesh. And Bangladesh is a very special place. It's East Bengal. It's actually the place where most of my associates come from. Everybody please switch off your phones. Yeah, but there's so many holy places. Buddha and Sanatana Goswami come from there, and Arthakas Thakur. if Mahaprabhu's parents, Sachinata, Jagannath, Pujari, Vedacharya, Shiva's Thakur, all come from East Bengal, which is now Bangladesh. And because it is a Muslim country, it actually preserves our Vaishnava culture. And because the Muslims are not so fond of all the Kali Yuga, modern Kali Yuga ideas, actually when I hear the Namas prayers here, this makes me feel at home in Bangladesh. Yes, because I have spent so much time there. And I have learned so many things because Bangladesh, our Vaishnava culture, is really intact until this very day. So when I travel there, it's like entering Chaitanya Charitamrita for me. Yes. And my whole worldview got turned upside down there over 20 years. And that actually inspired me to establish this little institute for spiritual culture. Because not everybody can be so fortunate to spend so much time in Bangladesh. So that's when I realized actually devotees need some training and education. How to live this Vaishnava. It's not good enough just repeating it, learning it, quoting it, or hearing the leaders. No, we have to apply the philosophy in our daily life. Only then it will transform us if we live it. So of course here in India, we are a little closer to Krishna's culture than in the rest of the world. But India also is becoming the Tuesday now. Right? I've been coming to India for over 30 years. So I have seen how India transforms and changes. It's not to the better. Yes, so in any case, I am based in Mayapur, so usually I spend 2 months there in January, February. I give 6 courses over 6 weeks, and now I'm putting these courses in form. Because like that, as books, the knowledge can travel further and it can reach people who don't have the time to come to Mayapur and take the courses. So that's why I feel a great urgency to get these books out so that the knowledge reaches people. So at the end of our program, say a few words about each book, because I dare say there is some of the books which will be really dark. All of you are married, right? No? Who is married? Okay, just stay in. All right, so now let us turn to our topic of envy. So let me begin by sharing how envy comes about. So envy comes as soon as we want to enjoy life. As soon as sense gratification is a very important goal we strive for, then envy and competition will enter. And I like to understand envy as a certain state of heart, which comes out in any relationship. Usually we tend to use the term envy towards somebody who has something which we don't have. But actually, envy is a certain state of heart, a certain consciousness, which comes out towards seniors, equals, and even juniors, even children, we will discover that. It is very subtle. Yes. And also, in the fifth canto, Prabhupada makes this humorous remark in the word-for-word translation of one verse. He says, Kavaha, meaning the envious, and then in brackets, almost everyone. Almost everyone. Because we like to think that only other people are envious, especially of me. No, I don't have that. Of course not. So, just to make it clear, Prabhupada says almost everyone. So that means most likely it includes us also. Right? Also, another thing up front, this whole discussion is meant to detect the envy in our hearts, not in other people's hearts. Right? Yes. Because if we think, oh, that's why my superior treats me like this, she must be envious. If we think like this, what does that indicate about ourselves? What does it indicate? Huh? That we are envious. That we, point the finger at others. Yes. So let us not fall into this trap of allowing our envy to manifest. Right? So the whole discussion is meant to detect the envy in our hearts, right? Not in other people's hearts. Okay? So I do want to discuss one verse from the Bible. So this is verse 4, 8, 34. Fourth canto, 8th chapter. No need for you to look it up on the phone, because I want to read the verse and report, and then we want to collect an interactive way how envy manifests towards seniors equals juniors, because that's what the verse discusses. Now, I want you to hear very attentively and not look at your phone, because it's very difficult to do it from the phone. But now we want to hear very attentively. Right? So I will just change once with the Sanskrit and then. So, Gunadikam Pudam Lipset Anisha. I trim Samanatan Vichen Atal. So the translation is as follows. Every man, and here man means human, not man in position to women, but human being. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person who qualified himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material. So that's already a remarkable statement, that if we just learn how to act in a non-envious way, we will not be affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. Amazing, isn't it? Yes. So let us read the proof. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of it. So Prabhupada uses this term in such a way, towards a person that has something which we don't have. When we find someone less qualified, we deride. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. So here we have the statement a second time, that this envy is the root cause of troubles. The great sage Narada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate towards him, just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness. These important functions will make one happy within this material world. So a third time, this statement comes that if we just learn to act in a non-envious way, we can actually be happy in this material world. Even here in Hyderabad, we can be happy. So, but aren't we always saying that there is no happiness in this material world? We're usually preaching like that, right? That saying that you cannot be happy in the material world, right? Yes. So it seems like it was contradicting, right? So, but actually, no, it is not contradicting, because in the spiritual world, there is no desire for sense gratification. Prabhupada explains this. The spiritual world, everybody has a higher level of bliss. They're so blissful, giving Krishna enjoyment. Enjoying one's own senses seems like a boring waste of time. And therefore, in the spiritual world, there is actually no envy. Because as we said, envy is only there when we strive for sense gratification, when we try to establish in all relationships our superiority, that we are better, right? We will discover this. So in the spiritual world, there is no desire for sense gratification, therefore no envy. So therefore, a person, even if this person is here in the material world, if we are free from envy, we can say we are actually not a part of this material. We are already in the spiritual world. Because being free from envy, we have to be a pure devotee. We have to be absorbed in Shravana Kirtanam, serving the Lord. Then there is no room for any kind of desire for sense enjoyment, therefore no envy. So that's Vaikuntha consciousness. You know? So, and if a person is in that consciousness, then that person is already with their heart, with their mind, the spiritual world, all part of this material world. So therefore, he or she can be happy, even here in Hyderabad. Right? That says these important functions will make one happy within this material world. So now let us begin by looking at the relationship with seniors. What does the envious behavior look like towards a senior person? We may remember Prabhupada says the non-envious behavior towards a senior. Who remembers how do we receive a person when we are non-envious? Who remembers? Prabhupada says we are the non-envious behavior towards a senior person. We were just reading it. Did you listen? Yes. So what did Prabhupada say? How do we receive a person when we are not envious? We are pleased, we are jolly, Prabhupada says, right? We are jolly to receive it. So, in other words, the envious behavior would be that we are not so jolly, right? So we imagine a senior person comes and we think, oh no, not this person is coming now, disturbing my my situation, every center of attention. I mean, you girls are all pretty young and Krishna conscious as well. So, but you imagine you're a preacher, and then a more senior person comes, then we think if we are envious, we are not so happy to receive. We think, oh no, now she is coming. Let's hope she's not staying for too long, so that I can have again my stage. Right? And we may go up to the person with a plastic smile, saying, oh, nice to see you, Mataji. How long are you staying? Oh, 3 days. Oh, nice, yes. But no, I'm there, okay, after 3 days. That would be the end of this. And what else do we do when we are envious? And when how else do we behave towards this universe? We are not only not so happy to receive them, but what else do we do? What? Yeah, we don't offer obeisances, we don't offer respect. Actually, we may even ignore them. We pretend they're nobody, nothing, not worth giving any attention to. We just look the other way and pretend we don't see them. Yes. And what else do we do? Something even more drastic. What else do we do? We don't follow the instructions. Yes. What else? What else we do? We are so good at that. We point out mistakes in them. We are fault finding, criticizing, talking bad behind their back. Right? So why do we do this? To minimize their importance. And in other words, we say, oh, I don't have that fault. I'm actually better. Yes. Oh yes, we're pretty good at that. We like to talk bad about other people, right? Yes. And interestingly, I mean, just imagine a senior preacher comes, gives a class, and then a friend of ours says to us, oh, that was a nice class, wasn't it? And then we say, yeah, it was all right, but and he's like, our budget was not so drastic. He didn't quote so many verses. Or similar thing about a kirtan. Oh, it was a nice kirtan, wasn't it? Yeah, it was all right. But I didn't like the melody. This Madanga playing could be better. Need some improvement. So interestingly, even if it is true, even if it is true, that is Madanga playing needs a bit of it. Just the fact that we have the desire to make that statement shows that there's a yes. This is pretty subtle. And we might think, well, it's true. I'm just sharing with my friend my kirtan or class experience. So can't I speak the truth? Freedom of speech. This is modern India. Can't we say the truth? We may justify. And just the fact that we look in our hearts, just the fact that we want to point this out, shows that there's a need, that we're trying to reduce this. And we're trying to say, oh, I would have chosen a nice melody and my Madanga playing is perfect. So we try to minimize that person's importance and establish ours. And that's what we call it, even if it is true. Actually, our previous Acharya Sridhar Swami, he cites whether it is true or not, talking about the faults of a Vaishnava, means to blaspheme. Even if it is true. Yes. We do this so often. And we don't even recognize, we don't identify. Because we think, well, what's wrong with him speaking the truth? Yes. So let us move on to the non-envious behaviors. So we said already, Prabhupada said, you're jolly to receive it, right? And what else do we do? How do we associate with a senior person? Yes, we offer humble service. And what else? What else? Hearing, inquiring. So Hari Krishna Sevaya. So Hari Krishna is inquiring, Sevaya serving. So this is not only towards Guru, but towards any more experienced person. That's how we take advantage of that person's presence. By offering some service, by inquiring, by being eager to hear. That's how we learn. Right? And the serving and inquiring, these two principles, they enhance each other. So the more we serve in a humble mood, the more we feel inspired to hear and inquire. And the more we hear and inquire, the more we want to serve. And like that, they enhance each other. So they're very important aspects of devotional life. Maybe you notice that these days people, rather than inquiring, they love to talk about themselves. Have you noticed that? People love to talk about themselves, what they will be doing. So to do that in the presence of a more senior person, it is a little inappropriate because it looks like we want to boast and show off. So we should only talk about ourselves if we are asked, or what are you doing, what service are you doing? So then we can share something from our life. But if we are not asked, then we are not meant to talk about them ourselves. We are meant to inspire them. Okay, so let us move on to the relationship with juniors. So what is the envious behavior? The envious behavior towards a less experienced person. We deride, yes, we push him down. We actually enjoy our superiority by pressing him down and showing, yes, I am superior. Yes. Also, when we make fun out of a person, we make some jokes on the person's expense in the presence of others, we laugh about it and put them down, make them look foolish. This is also a sign of it. And what else do we do? Any idea what else we do? This towards a junior. Aren't you envious? What else do we do?
Take pride in something.
Yeah, we may take pride in what we do, just to establish our superiority. Sometimes we may, use terms they don't understand, just to show how good. Yeah. And sometimes we may also overly harshly and constantly chastise and correct the person. This can also be a sign of envy. Of course, some correction, some chastisement may sometimes be necessary. But if it is constantly, overly harshly, all the time picking on the person, making him feel low, right? This can even come out towards children, because if I have observed this, especially when ladies with their mothers, they are having a professional career, they're out every day from morning to night working, then in the evenings they're so tired and frustrated, and I had some bad experiences at work for this anger, frustration, envy. They ventilate it on the child, and then the poor child gets it all. And sometimes the child is so small, only 2 years old, can't even understand why the mother is unhappy, is screaming, yelling at them. But actually, it is all that envy and frustration sting out the poor child gets. So we have to be very careful how we treat subordinates. So the mood of an envious person towards a junior is that, yes, I want you to come up and grow, but definitely not higher than I am. Right? I am up here and you always be down there. Yes, that's the mood. So actually to really want somebody to become more glorious and more successful than we are, that requires money. That's not so easy. That's a challenge to the fourth. I have observed this is sometimes somebody is talking here on Zoom themselves. Yes. Some people are not muted here. Yes. So not maybe. Anyway, that's good. Yes. So sometimes when we delegate a task to another person, we can see whether the person delegating has some envy or not. The envious way of delegating, we have this mood, okay, either you do it or I do it. And if you do it, good luck, you do it. And we don't follow up. We don't ask, or how are you doing? Maybe you need some help, maybe you need more money, maybe you need more manpower, and some tips to become successful. So good delegation in a non-envious mood is that we follow up because we want that person to be successful, right? We are ready to do anything to help that person become successful, maybe even more successful than if I had done it. That's the non-envious one. But very often we don't have that mood. It's either you do it or I do it. Okay, you want to do it, good luck, you do it. And we don't follow up. We give up all responsibility. Maybe we are hoping in our heart that the person will not be as successful as if I had done it. You know? That afterwards we can say, see, I knew you can't do it. But you wanted to do it. Okay, I thought, I wanted to do it. So now you see the outcome. I knew I should have done it. You know, then it would have been so much more successful. But you really wanted to do it. So that's the envious way of telling. Right? You get the point? Yes. Yeah, so all these things are very subtle. And they can always be justified with our contaminated intelligence. Then we say, oh, I'm too busy, and she wants to do it, all right, let it. I've got so many other things. You know, and we don't bother asking, oh, how are you doing? Also, envy can manifest that we are very impatient with the person. We have this mood, oh, I don't have time for you. I am so important, you are nobody. And you know, we are impatient. Oh, I can't work with this person because it's just not qualified. And you know, this could also be some indication. So now what's the non-envious way towards a junior? Compassionate, that's what Bhagavan said. Yes, we are compassionately, affectionately reach out. We want that person to be successful, more glorious than we are, more successful. That's the non-envious. Actually, a non-envious person knows how to connect with anyone. Prabhupada was the perfect person. He knew how to connect with a small child, with a hippie, with a drug dealer, with a scientist, with a Christian priest, no matter who it was, a politician. He knew how to connect with that person and act for their ultimate benefit, for their upliftment. And Prabhupada was sometimes very heavy, calling people fools and rascals, and so many things. But because Prabhupada's heart was 1000% non-envious, people could feel that. That's why they did not take offense, because they could feel Prabhupada is their most well-wishing friend, wants the very best for them. They could feel that. But we should not think that we can imitate Prabhupada, because we are not free from envy yet. So if we call people fools and rascals, very easily there is some pride and arrogance there, that we look down on people, all these kamis, these non-devotees, these wood-house, you know. So we have to be very careful. Just the fact that Prabhupada talked like this doesn't give us the right to also. And Prabhupada used to say, I'm an old man, I can speak like that. You are not. Of course, Prabhupada could not say, I am non-envious, and that's why I can speak. So that's why he said he should have, as a matter of age. But of course, we know the age is not what makes the real difference. It is a matter of being non-envious. Okay, so now relationship towards equals. What is the envious behavior? Who can remember? What did Prabhupada say? Yes, we are proud of our activities. We like to change our glories, boasting what we all have been doing, right? So the movement between two equals who are envious is that they think, okay, we are equal, but actually I am a little superior. And I'm going to prove it to you by boasting what we've all been doing, right? Yes. Let us imagine two traveling preachers who are not so mature yet, who still have some envy in their heart. Two traveling preachers meet. So one says to the other, oh, guess what? I was in New York and there was the Rath Yatra, and they asked me to lead the kirtan on the parade. You want to see the YouTube video? Here it is. I'll send you the link. You can watch it. And then, yes, at the final stage program, such a big crowd was there. And again, I was giving the main talk. You want to see YouTube? There it all is. And then I went to Los Angeles, and again there was Yatra, and I couldn't believe it. Again, I was invited to lead the kirtan and give the talk, and so like that we carry on and on and on and on. What we've been doing in the name of sharing. I'm just sharing with my friend. What's wrong with that? Right? The movement, the consciousness of how we share. That makes all the difference. So then, after boasting and showing off, we say, okay, and what about you? What have you been doing? And by then, the other person is so impressed. Oh, you're so great. You know, I'm nothing compared to you. Not even worthwhile talking about what I did. Yeah. Yeah. So between two equals who are envious, immediately there is competition there. Right? As we said, they want to actually prove that I'm just this little bit more advanced actually, even though we are equal, but actually absolutely. And I'm going to prove it. Yeah, so now what's the non-envious behavior? That's equals. Friendship, Prabhupada said. So now one thing is friendship we can also have with seniors or juniors. But what is the special friendship amongst equals? There is actually also some kind of competition, but it is very different. So what's the competition between what's going on in this? What do they do? Huh? They help each other grow together. Yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, see, out of Vaishnav humility, they think the other person is more advanced. They see themselves as junior and they push each other forward. How Prabhu, you give the class, I want to hear from you. And you lead the kirtan, your kirtans are more powerful. So they push each other forward, taking themselves the back seat. And that exactly is the spiritual, the spirit in the spiritual world. It is described that the gopis and manjaris, they experience more bliss pushing the others forward to Krishna, assisting them to give pleasure to Krishna, rather than being there in the front themselves. That's the mood in the spiritual world. So if we want to go there one day, we have to cultivate the mood, otherwise we won't be allowed entrance. Right? Yes. So, and I mean, we can just imagine we are quite far away from this. Let us imagine our Guru visits Hyderabad. So we all want to be noticed and in the front, right? We don't have this mood of pushing others towards Guru and let them be glorious and recognized. Now we want to be ourselves there. See? It's the stories how far away we are from the mood and spirit of the spiritual world. And a few more words about the special friendship amongst equals who are non-enemies. There is actually a very intimate, confidential sharing going on, sharing and inquiring. Because as we said, they are a Vaishnava community, they consider themselves gas advanced. So therefore they inquire from each other in a very confidential mood. They're sharing secrets of their spiritual life. So let us imagine, one says to the other, "Oh, Prabhu, you've been a brahmachari for 38 years. How do you do it? What's your secret?" And then the other one says, "And you, Prabhu, you've been married for 38 years. What's your secret? How do you do it? How do you tolerate it? How do you still change 16 rounds and make some contribution?" So what's your secret? So in this way, in a very personal, intimate way, they inquire from each other and share each other's secrets. And this is only possible in that relationship. With seniors or juniors, we cannot inquire in such an intimate, confidential way. Only amongst equals, and only if we are non-enemies. That's the price to pay to experience that special sweetness of this kind of friendship. Right? So now Now, what do you think? Which relationship is most purifying? With seniors, equals, or juniors? What do you think? Is it possible to maybe close the window? Sometimes a little. So what do you think? What is the most purifying relationship? The seniors with equals with juniors? Huh? No, one relationship is more purifying than the others. Yes, you would agree on equals? Yes, it's a fact. Yes. Because in equal association, the most biting and pinching envy from the most hidden corners of the heart come to the surface. Yes. Because, associating with seniors, not so difficult to say, oh, I'm the humble servant, and we hope that some of their glory splashes over to us. And we say, oh, look, it's always me next to Guru. I'm such a confidential associate and servant of Guru. And because he is so glorious, I'm the next glorious next to him. Yes. And it's very easy to just surround ourselves with juniors. Say, oh yes, I'm their humble servant. But amongst equals, that's where we have to show true color, whether we are humble servant or whether we are competitive and try to be superior afterward. Equal association. Most purified. Of course, in a more purified stage, we also get a lot of benefit from senior association, but especially cooperating with equals. There's a lot of challenges there. Yes. Sometimes when I'm in my airport, I have two girls with me assisting, and the main challenge for them is to cooperate with each other. Right? Yes. And often I don't even notice because when I appear on the scene, it's all fine. I didn't say anything. But as soon as I leave the room, then there's all this tension and arguments. Who's doing what and half and everything and so much tension and involved there. So even in the younger stage of devotional life, to serve and cooperate with equals is not easy. Of course, if we just sit in the park and talk, that's very easy. But to actually a Vaishnava association is to serve each other and together, right? And inquiring from each other, hearing from each other, and so that's real way of associating. That can be difficult amongst equals, especially as we become a little influential. The more we become influential, the more difficult it is to share our influence with somebody similarly influential. Because then there's always this fear, or maybe this person will be more popular than me, maybe people like him more than me, and so then there's this competitive. Also, I don't know if you have had this experience, but if two equally expert cooks are cooking lunch for groomers, this can be an intense experience. My God. If it is one expert, one helper, no problem. But two experts, oh, immediately the competition comes in. Who knows better what goes on slides? No, this is not a slide that, he changed it. No, last time he really liked it. No, he told me, and any of you have been in that situation? Any of you experienced that? No, but see, maybe you're not performing enough service amongst equals. Now it can be quite intense. I have seen people stealing each other's burgers, stealing each other's parts, yes, not sharing the recipe. And only I know how to make this preparation, and this is Marge's favorite, and sorry, I'm not going to tell anybody else how the recipe goes. I mean, in the Shastra, we have the example of Prithviraj and Indra. Indra had done 100 whole sacrifices. So while Prithviraj had done 99, everything was fine. But as soon as Prithviraj wanted to do the hundreds, then the end came. And Indra felt threatened. What did he do? He stole the horse, like stealing the burger. So the yajna can't go on. There it is. So even on that level of Prithviraj and Indra, we come across this difficulty of equal association. And I mean, we can say most conflicts in the world on all levels, inside is gone and outside is come about through this difficulty of equal association. And most, I mean, I have having been here for 2 days, but in most communities, some tension amongst equals of different levels. Even in the animal kingdom, we can see when the monkey fights, dog fights, it's actually mainly amongst male monkeys, over territory. All right. So maybe let me see if we have any questions about this topic, and then I will share a few words about the talk. Do we have any questions about this topic of it? Since it is a practical topic, I'm sure there should be some. Actually, the Shastra says we women are 9 or even 12 times more lusty than men. You've heard that? So, and our lust comes out in subtle ways. Men's lust manifests more in a gross physical way. Women's lust comes out in a subtle way. And lust is very much, subtle lust is connected to it. So often there's quite a bit of, envious dealings and bickering and criticism and competitiveness amongst women, actually. Prabhupada used to say, you can have so many moustaches in one room, no problem. But if we have more than 4 breasts in one room, then there will be problem. Those were problems there. And I dare say the root cause of the problem is this tendency. So now, do we have any more points for discussion? Don't be shy, ladies. Ask something. As we said, we should inquire. Yes. very much. Right, good question. I mean, first of all, externally, we should try and subdue the envy and act in a nice way, being willing to receive them, serve them, or pushing them forward, or being uplifting. Serving is always a good medicine. But then there's also another thing, because this is more the external behavior, and we can very easily maintain our internal envy, just putting on a plastic smile and show and pretend. But that is not the solution, you know? So I like to give 5 steps for any kind of transformational internal work where we want to transform certain unwanted patterns of behaviors. No difference whether this is envy or false ego or criticizing or whatever it may be. So step number 1 is always hearing about the topic. Because by hearing, we become more mindful, more conscious. Because so often we are just so unconscious about these subtle things we don't identify. Prabhupada was saying, before becoming Krishna conscious, we have to first become conscious. And we become conscious by hearing. That wakes us up from our spiritual coma, or sleeping. Right? So hearing is the first step. That's why I like to discuss these topics, so that we become more conscious. So then step number 2 is desiring to kick it out. And hopefully after this session we realize with our envy we can't enter the spiritual world. We have to do something about it. We have to get rid of it. Right? So then step number 3, we have to be introspective and honest. Always reflecting, looking in our hearts. Why did I say this? Why did I do this? What just took place in this unpleasant exchange? How did I contribute to this? Because as we said, the contaminated intelligence can always justify anything, right? And make us feel we are right, so the other people who are at fault. So at this step number 3 of introspecting and being honest, we may need some help. We may need the help of a counselor, a more experienced, well-wishing friend who has no other interest except our growth and development. That person can help us see how we contributed to some negative situation. Yes, so without this introspection and honesty, we actually cannot make a difference. We will always be able to find some justification, maintain our interests and false ego patterns of behaviors, And so without this introspection and honesty, we cannot have it. The process of bhakti is a very internal process. It's not a question of getting up there in the ladder of hierarchy, or first initiation, or second initiation, or now I am in charge, or now I have 50,000 followers of Facebook. This is not what it means to make advancement. It's a whole internal process. So step number 3, being introspective and honest. Then comes step number 4, catching ourselves doing the wrong thing. That's already progress. Because so many times we were doing the wrong thing and we didn't notice. But now at least we realize, oh, here we go again. I couldn't control myself. I had to make that nasty comment. I had to I had to put this down and so we catch ourselves doing the wrong thing. So now, my question to you, what's the step number 5? What do we do after catching ourselves doing the wrong thing? Correct ourselves. Well, if it was just that easy, but usually it's not, right? So many times we can say, okay, I'm not able to do it again. Sorry? Yes, we call out, we cry out to Krishna, especially Lord Nrsimhadev. He is very expert to perform the heart surgery with his sharp nails. Yes, actually Lord Nrsimhadev, he prepares our hearts so we can approach Radha Krishna. Yes. See, because envy, false ego, by the way, false ego, envy, they're good friends. They like to move around together. They are so deep-rooted and subtle. We have been carrying them with us for many, many lifetimes. You know, here are the embodiment of envy and false ego. So we, out of our own strength, we cannot free ourselves from these Devaki tendencies. We need Krishna to come and fill the demonic potential. Yes. But the problem is that we keep ourselves in this illusion, thinking that maybe this envy, false ego will give us some juicy fruits after all. And that's why we like to maintain that. We say to Krishna, okay, Krishna, you can take that attachment, but not this one. How now? Maybe. So we are not seriously calling out in the fears what is it. But if we do, then Lord Nrsimhadev will respond. Yes. Yes, sometimes he responds quicker and more drastically than you imagine. So you better watch out. So, and if we do this last 3 steps again and again, then we are introspective and honest. We catch ourselves doing the wrong thing. We cry out to Krishna helplessly, beg him to do the heart surgery. And we are introspective and honest. We catch ourselves doing the wrong thing. We cry out to Krishna. Then sooner or later we come to step number 6. And that is, we catch ourselves doing the right thing. Some daily, situation will come our way, and we realize, oh, 2 weeks before, I would have reacted differently. I would have, been agitated and challenged and reacted, said something nasty back, whatever it may be. But now I could not be provoked. I just let it go by. I did not respond. So like that we can see, oh, gradually, by Krishna's help, we can actually transform these patterns of behavior. So a devotee who is ready to do this last 3 steps of introspection and honesty, touching ourselves to right now to Krishna. If we are willing to do this internal work, that's when we make a difference. Yes. It's a whole internal. So I see the shouting there. So let me maybe take some time to say something about these books, because actually this topic is also important. Spiritual culture, Krishna's divine system. Actually, the whole book is about women. Yes. We women are very powerful. We have a very powerful Shakti. And we can bring the very best out of a man if we can play the role of being the power of inspiration to him, or we can ruin his life. That's the power of a woman. So we women play such an important role, and one of them being, I'd say, being the power of inspiration, the auspicious source of energy and power of inspiration. So now, because of this man-woman equality propaganda, we women often compete. We don't want to play the role of being the power of inspiration, and making the husband or another man around us, make them the hero. No, we compete. We want to be the hero ourselves. And this is very destructive. It actually disempowers man, and it puts the whole human society upside down. This is what's happening in the Western world. Yeah, so you ladies better be careful. You don't follow all these bad things which are going. Any of you has been outside of India? Which country?
South Korea.
South Korea. That's probably so Western. Sure. But yeah, I mean, so this book is for actually every woman. Every woman. Every woman who wants to have harmonious relationships with him. Not only in marriage, in all fields, in all dealings. Yes. So it's very important for everyone. So important. So many subtleties. And I'm sharing quite a few now stories from Bangladesh because that's so that's book number 1. Then we have sheltering relationships. This is a book about the importance of having a counselor, a mentor, a coach, that just having Diksha Shiksha Guru not enough. We need somebody on a more regular basis who can correct us, no matter how senior we may be. We all need somebody in our life who can correct us, who can tell us something. But sometimes we become so senior that nobody even can tell us anything. And then we are living in the risky situation. And actually the topic of envy is in this book. Because if we are envious, we will not want to give shelter and uplift juniors. We want to keep them down. And if we are envious, we will not want to take shelter of seniors and learn from them. We think we know it all anyway. You know? Very important topic, because the topic of taking shelter actually accompanies us throughout the whole spirit. Ultimately, we have to learn to take shelter of Krishna, of the holy name of God. But we have to start with the Vaishnava. That's where we have to practice and cultivate this root of taking shelter. Very important. If we don't have that, then we can easily stay in our comfort zone, become stagnant. We don't move anywhere. And people can even leave Krishna consciousness very easily. Krishna sends us some task and we take shelter of the false ego. We get offended. Oh, I'm not going to go there anymore. I'm not going to serve them. How can they like this? And we fade away, never to be seen again. But if we have a counselor, that trusted, well-wishing friend will say, hey, just cool down, right? And this will help us to see where we are contributing into the whole situation. Then we have the false ego, our constant companion and troublemaker. So I think the title speaks for itself. False ego sounds much more. And in the name of Krishna consciousness, we can feed and boost the false ego instead of dissolving and subduing it. It's all happening. Kirtan can be the opportunity to show up. Yes. So there's a lot of helpful things. It's all practical application, good right philosophy, all practical application. But all based on Prabhupada's books. Every second page you have some. Also, especially when we get offended, how often does that happen? It's the false ego crying out for justice. Yes. Yes. When we can't forget and forgive. So in both of these books are actually these 5 steps. Envy and false. And in this book is also a whole chapter about chanting the holy name in japa and in kirtan. How to change japa so it dissolves our false ego, and how not to use kirtan to feed our false ego and show off. Because I do conduct holy name retreats. I mean, here in Hyderabad, we only have 1 day. If you really want to have a deep experience, then come to Ekachakra over Christmas, 23rd to 27th of December. I even got a poster. If you're interested, you can take a photo of the poster. Any of you has been to Ekachakra Dam? Not so many, just only a few of you. Okay. Yes, so Ekachakra is Lord Nityananda's place of appearance. Very amazing place. We stayed there 4 nights. And we have a 3-day, a full 3-day holy name retreat. So there I can give so much more than I can. And being in Ekachakra for 4 nights, you actually enter a different reality. Especially if you switch off your mobile phone. Mobile phones are so distracting. Believe it or not, I don't have a mobile phone. I travel the whole world without a phone. I have a laptop that sits in my room. Funny beeping noises and all that. Mobile phone is the #1 distraction. And I don't want to have this. Yeah, so anyway, and for the book, you have like a summary of what. So then, something which is very relevant, entering the Grihastha, how to do it, how better not to do it. I think we need a little bit of help action. So this is a handbook for management. How to see that you're compatible with a possible candidate. Because here in India, people mainly look at caste and economic situation, nothing much else. But there are so many devotional levels of compatibility which have to be considered, right? I mean, see, I'm traveling in so many countries, USA, Canada, Australia. Most of these countries have a big Indian community, and you would not believe how many unhappy, mismatched couples from Indian families. It breaks my heart. I ask people, so why did you get married? Oh, our parents pushed us, they put us together. And people blindly follow without examining. Yes. This is terrible. So in this book is a whole list of over 100 questions which a boy and a girl should discuss with cool heads. This takes 3 to 4 weeks of meeting every day for 1 to 2 hours. Yes, we have to talk. Yes. Here in the back of the book, I put a nice quote from Oprah. The last sentence is, if the taste and character differ between a man and woman, their combination will be unhappy. Taste and character. So here in India, people sometimes only meet 2 times for half an hour, and then they get married. Well, sorry, it takes a little longer than meeting 2 times for half an hour to see whether we are on the same page in regards to taste and character. Yes. And I have noticed some girls are afraid of getting married. This is here like that. I've done ladies programs in other so, yeah, some girls are 35, 36, they're still not married. And when I talk to them, they actually don't want to get married, they're afraid. You know? Or then the other extremists, you either have these forceful, you know, not well-matched couples, or then the other extreme, the love marriage. I like to call them lust marriage, not love marriage. That's not the solution. That's what everybody's doing in the West. Look how high the divorce rate is there. Single mothers. My God, even in ISKCON, in Europe, so many single mothers. That's the result of the love marriage. That's not the solution. So we have to improve our matchmaking skills a little. You know? Yes. Because in former times, the parents were very expert seeing taste and character, but now they only look at money and caste. That's the problem. You know? Yes, and in former times, people were sticking through the marriage, even if it was suffering from beginning to end. You know? I have met people like that. And it's like, God, my marriage has been suffering, but I simply find my need to tolerate. But today, people are not willing to buy the teas at all. Yeah. So we have to improve our matchmaking. So please, let's educate ourselves. Right? How to create harmonious, strong, nice couples to connect well and on the same page. Yes. So this book is for anybody who's not married. And the parents should also read it if they can read English. Or if you have some matchmaking, anybody who's involved in matchmaking, counselors, practitioners, maybe they can find something here. And this list of 100 topics, it's not my list. I got this list from Bhaktivedanta Manor in London, which has a huge Indian community. Their matchmaking committee uses this list. So it's for Indian people. It's not a German list. Yes. So I find these questions excellent. Actually, sometimes in the West, I serve so I use this process. So it's tested first. And so often people tell me actually how good it is to go through these questions. They often say, not only get I to know the other person, but I get to know myself. Because these questions are so deep. We have to reflect, we have to think, and we realize we get to know ourselves more. What is important to us, what we need, what we look for in a partner. Yes, we become more conscious of all these things. Right? Then there's a better chance that we actually make the right decision. Right? And of course, sometimes the parents get a little impatient after 1 week of associating, still they don't know. So they should understand this is a lifetime decision. Even if you buy a computer, you do a little research, you have a look at this model, that model, the other, they do. Then you decide what to speak of getting married. You don't just rush blindly into it and then, I can't tolerate this. No. Because already now, the divorce rate is increasing. I come across this. I come across these crazy stories. When devotees are forced into marrying someone, then the other person actually has a girlfriend which nobody knew, and then this forced marriage, after 2 months, he runs off with a girlfriend. It's crazy stories. Yeah, this is because we don't openly communicate. Give ourselves enough time to get to know the person. And of course, I'm not suggesting that we have some different girlfriend relationship now. If somebody is present, either the counselor or parent or something, with a sober mood, we go through the questions. Yes. But important. And last but not least, family life. Last but not least, family life as an ashram. Secrets of success. So this is for people who are married already, but also as preparation for marriage. So we are clear, what does it mean to create a culture of bhakti in my home? in my family life. And then we become more clear, where do I want to be here on the spectrum of all different standards, which we can practice to some extent. And then we want to make sure we have a husband who's got a similar outlook on it. Yes. So it's very important also for preparation, because there's so many topics, so many, choosing one's place of residence, choosing one's income. What are the effects if a woman works full time? Whole chapter on that. There are so many things. And there's also one chapter on physical intimacy in marriage. How to live the fourth principle of no illicit sex life. Nobody ever talks about it. Right? And people are sometimes confused. They don't know how to make ends meet. So how can I publish a book about real survival and not talk about that topic? So there's a whole big chapter on it. And mood and attitude of husband and wife. So now, if any of you ladies want to get some books, these 3 books are 350 each, and the other 2, because they're a little thinner, they are 300 each. And you can pay by cash or through phone. Right? All right, ladies, thank you so much for your kind attention. Go on with me. Yeah, so I will be giving a few more classes tonight. I'm somewhere else. But tomorrow,
and 5 point formula, I think all set down. That's the question, right? Always. And we will teach some things also. Because if you are very happy, should be reading this book very much like stage when student gets married, entering the yeah. So take this opportunity. Take this opportunity because in a seminar or class, just grab things, but Mataji has poured into the experience of so many years, so always carry this person. We had a pre-marriage seminar also, but because with 1 hour, just can't do much of information. So please take this benefit. And in case any one of your friends or anyone else who was not present here, I will also post it with the photographs in our groups. And anyone who wants to buy, I think this month's and work in and I can follow Mataji also communication address at Devaki Hall, sharp at 10. And 10 means 10 a.m. It doesn't mean 11. Yeah.
I actually heard it's 9:30. Rather sharply said 9:30.
So 9:30 is the official architecture time. We don't have architecture, but we have as an address by Mataji on again a very, very important topic, Prajalva, which most of us are very much used to. And especially the women, that's almost like a second nature. We can't just get away with processing budget. So that's a very important topic. Don't miss that out and don't think that they are not part of it. All are doing budget. So please, how to get away with it? One topic from sharp 10. So we will be here by 9:30. It's a etiquette that we should be present on our meeting, right? For the mission. That is the right thing. And then again, 11 o'clock we have the book distribution marathon opening, and Mataji will also be facing that. So we have to continue. But so now we like Mataji, very very loud chant. Mantra once again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Mataji ki jai. Will also be posting the recording this session in the group so that those who have missed out they can also benefit this month.
See.
It's okay.